I call this meeting to order and welcome everyone in attendance and those viewing the meeting on live stream. Thank you for being here. All of our board members are present. We will start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on the agenda is to approve and or amend the agenda. Is there a motion to approve and or amend the agenda as it is written?
I hereby move that the board approve the agenda as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The agenda is approved. Next on the agenda is our awards and recognitions presented by Courtney Fisher.
Okay, good evening, Madam Chair, trustees, Dr. Howell, Ms. Johnson, and our student representatives. We're beginning a new season and cycle of our Cake and Pies Awards tonight. So we have 3 recognitions for you this evening. And these are all individuals who, through their actions, support and embody our district's mission to think more, learn more, and be more together. And first up, we have our Elementary School Learner of the Month. And this is our Cake Award. And School District 25 believes a safe, supportive, caring, and respectful environment is critical to student learning. The School District 25 Education Foundation, in partnership with Johnson Family McDonald's, supports the Learner of the Month Award to recognize 1 elementary learner and 1 secondary learner from our district from October through May. The Cake Award celebrates positive character, attitude, kindness, and encouragement toward others. Nominations for the Cake Award are submitted by a teacher who has observed the nominee's behavior and are approved by the school's principal. Each Cake Award recipient receives recognitions here at the monthly board meetings, as well as a gift card for the recipient and their teacher, and a $50 donation to purchase books in the recipient's name for their media center, both courtesy of the Johnson Family McDonald's. So first up, will Mr. Keegan Karn and his teacher, Miss Miza Priestley, join me, Mrs. Priestley? There you go. Okay, so Keegan is in the 3rd grade at Jefferson Elementary School, and Mrs. Priestley wrote in her nomination letter, "It is an absolute joy to recommend Keegan Karn for the Cake Award. Each day he brings something truly special to our classroom through his character, attitude, and love of learning. Keegan has a wonderful sense of creativity that shines through in classwork and discussions. He approaches every new idea with curiosity and excitement, showing a genuine passion for learning. Challenges never discourage Keegan. Instead, he meets them with energy and determination, which inspires those around him to do the same. What stands out most is the way Keegan treats others. He is consistently friendly and kind to everyone, always looking for ways to include others so no one feels left out. His positive outlook makes our classroom a happier, more welcoming place, and he sets an example of encouragement and respect that classmates naturally want to follow. For all of these reasons, I believe Keegan truly embodies what it means to be a Cake Award nominee. He shows us every day how creativity, kindness, and a love of learning can make a difference in our classroom community. So please help me congratulate Keegan. Keegan, I'll shake your hand.
I like that.
Congratulations.
Nice job.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you so much. Okay, and now we have our secondary learner of the month, Forrest Anderson, and he was nominated by 2 teachers, Miss Lindsay Matthews and Miss Marianne McGrory. So join me here, and if you'll stand out here. Perfect. Okay, so Forrest Anderson is in the 7th grade at Alameda Middle School. And Forrest is a learner who brightens the day of everyone around him. His teacher, Miss Matthews, shared that Forrest is someone she looks forward to seeing each and every day. She has never seen him without a smile. I bet he's smiling right now, isn't he? Like a bubbling fountain, his joy and kindness refresh everyone he meets. Forrest consistently extends friendship and positivity to his peers, and his genuine character shines through his honesty and integrity, qualities that are truly remarkable for his age. Forrest's warmth and friendliness are contagious. Ms. Matthews noticed that even the most reserved learners can't help but return his smile. He engages in meaningful conversations with both teachers and classmates, though he doesn't often realize just how much his optimism and kindness uplift those around him. Ms. McGrory described Forrest as every teacher's dream student. He's always ready to lend a hand. Those are big shoes to follow. Offer encouragement or help a classmate feel included. If there's a quiet student who needs a friend, Forrest is the one who sits beside them, gently drawing them into learning and conversation. His enthusiasm for school is equally impressive. He approaches every lesson with curiosity, excitement, and a love for reading and sharing what he's learned. Forrest's kindness, positive attitude, and genuine care for others make him a shining example of what the Cake Award represents. He reminds us that all that being your best self and helping others to do the same is the sweetest recipe for success. Congratulations, Forrest, and thank you so much for your kindness and your example that you set in our schools. Wonderful. Next up, we have our PIES Award for October. The Employee of the Month, or PIES Award, recognizes our employees who positively influence educational success. This award is for employees who go above and beyond in that effort. PIES Award recipients receive a $50 gift card from Lookout Credit Union, our educational partner for this award. So I would like to invite Miss Heidi Baker to join me at the podium. And would those who nominated her please join me too? Tiffany Lemos, Elisa Novi, Kimberly Thompson, Carrie Thomason, and Janelle Arvis. If you'll join us up here as well, that would be amazing. So Heidi, if you don't know, is a technology training specialist here at the district office. And her team, this is the team of amazing coaches for our district. But Heidi is being recognized. She was nominated by her entire team. Mostly for her involvement in helping set up the online high school learning platform. Cassie Atwood said to me earlier today that there's no way this program would have gotten up with the countless hours that Heidi spent over the summer and her area of expertise and all of the knowledge and training and research that she did to help get that going. So I just wanted to ad-lib that. Heidi Baker is recognized as the October PIES Award recipient for her outstanding contributions to student success and her unwavering support for learning across the district. Her colleagues describe her as a dedicated, innovative professional who consistently goes above and beyond to make a difference for learners and staff alike. Heidi played a vital role in launching the SD25 online school for secondary learners, investing countless hours last summer to help design and refine course content. Her blend of instructional insight and technical expertise ensured that the online learning experience was engaging, effective, and accessible for all learners. Known for her creative problem-solving skills, Heidi approaches every challenge with positivity and purpose. Whether she's troubleshooting a technical issue, brainstorming new instructional strategies, or offering a word of encouragement, she is always ready to lend a hand. Her friendly, welcoming attitude has made her a trusted colleague and a go-to person for support. Heidi's dedication for helping students and educators succeed is evident in everything she does. Her commitment, collaborative spirit, and passion for excellence represents the very best of the PIES values, positively influencing educational success. Through her tireless efforts and genuine care for others, Heidi Baker has made a lasting impact on the School District 25 community. So thank you so much, Heidi.
Yeah.
This is your certificate. You get a $50 gift card from Lookout Credit Union, and then you guys can take each other out for coffee, also courtesy of Lookout Credit Union, our partner in this award. So if you'll let our board congratulate you. Thank you so much.
I know, right?
Thank you.
Duh. I'm like, yes, thank you.
Oh my gosh,
so
I'm so
much.
glad I put it back on.
Thank you. Oh, amazing.
Thank you.
So awesome.
And that concludes our recognitions. Thank you.
That's like the best part of the night.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Next on the agenda is our self-explanatory reports, and then following that is our public comment. We have one request for,
Oh, yeah, student.
oh, I'm sorry. It's not on here. I'm so sorry.
Number 6.
Yeah, okay, I have two things to look at. Okay, student reports first. Oh, and do we just have one?
No, we have to.
Oh, there you
Two.
are. Sorry, I gotta get these off. I can only see close up.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Beza, and I'm here representing Century High School and letting you know what we've been up to. So first, our drama department had their first showing of the year, and it's a play called One Stop Light Town. It revolves around a small town which is dealing with change, all due to an implication of a stop sign. They've been showing everything last week, and their last play is actually tonight at 7. And then our band has been very busy as they went to Hawthorne last week and played for the middle school students there. And then they also recently had a competition at Madison High School, and they placed first, and they're hoping to do the same thing this week Saturday as they have a competition in Highland. And then, yeah. And then the Saturday is ISU's homecoming. It's a bit of a tradition for some of our students, our football team, as well as some members of the student council, to go and help out with the parade. So you might see us if you're there throwing candy. And then our student council last week on Tuesday went to Irving to teach the students the dangers of fentanyl. This has been something we've been doing for the past few years, and we think it's very important to hear it, especially from us, as we're someone that they can look up to, and especially at the age that they're at now, to hear of the dangers of fentanyl. And we'll be going back on Thursday to teach another class at Irving. And then our boys soccer and swim are the state fall sports academic champions, so we're very proud of them. And then we've also been having our freshman elections recently. I think we're electing next week, and I've been interviewing some of them recently, and there are some very bright students that you might see in like 3 years. And then along with the play tonight, our volleyball team is having their district against Pokey later at 7 also, and it will be at Pokey. Cross country is having district on Thursday at ISU, and then our swim girls had an all-city meet last week, and girls placed first against Pokey and Highland, so yeah. And then golf also had districts with our girls placing first, and then the boys placing second, and they went to state. So we're very proud of that. And with fall sports wrapping up, we have our fall sports assembly tomorrow, where we appreciate and honor all of the hard work the teams have been going through and the members of the sports. And then another big event that's happening in the assembly is Brawley-ball, which boys who are interested in volleyball, for the past month, they've been playing games against each other. And then whoever ended up winning that bracket, which is a team called the Alphas, they play against our varsity volleyball team at the assembly. So we'll see if they have any luck. I don't know, but we'll see. And then to wrap everything up, football is having a game this Friday, and it's their senior night, and it's against Pokey. And so far, they're 7-0, so undefeated. So we'll see how that goes as well. And yeah, that's everything. Thank you.
Thank you. And Breland, right? Okay, from Highland.
It's good to see you all. Good evening. Highland has been doing a lot recently, so I'm excited to share. Our Highland Drama's run of their show Pride and Prejudice has begun. Shows run through the 21st through the 25th at 7 p.m. every night with a matinee on Saturday, $10 a person. We want to congratulate Highland boys and girls golf that compete at state in Nampa, Idaho. Girls, obviously Idaho. Girls finished 5th at state and boys finished 8th. We're really grateful for Highland Golf and all the work that they've put in. It's a big accomplishment. We also want to congratulate Highland boys soccer, who averaged a 3.6 GPA, and girls cross country, who averaged a 3.9 GPA, earning the recognition as 6A Fall 2025-2026 Academic State Champions, which we're super proud of. We're also so proud of Highland girls soccer for taking the district title 8-0 this weekend and are heading to state this Thursday. So we're wishing them luck. Boys soccer also finished out their season on a really tight game on Saturday, and we're super proud of their hard work this year. Highland, working with the Tribal Youth Education Program, has been able to provide a Native American tutor, Miss Jenny Whitehorse, who will help provide a major positive impact on Highland's Native American students and on our school. So we're really excited to welcome her to Highland. Tonight and Thursday night, Highland Volleyball is playing at our district tournament against Madison. This Thursday, Highland Cross Country has our district meet in Rexburg. And Highland Football Senior Night is this Friday at Highland against Madison. This Saturday, Highland Marching Band is hosting an invitational competition. And finally, Highland Student Government is putting on our annual trunk or treat for young kids in the Highland community. Anyone with young children is invited to join us free of charge, but we will be collecting donations for our Sub for Santa program, and we would appreciate any and all donations. The event is October 30th from 6 to 7 p.m., and that's all I have for you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have Pocatello? Do we have anyone from Pocatello? Okay. All right, so the next thing on the agenda is annual, no,
Community.
communications.
I'll be quick, I promise. We'll get used to the new format.
You're all ready.
Brand new.
Okay, hello, right?
Day one.
Okay, I will keep this really short. We have our communications report from the last 30 days. Page 2 is just your regular statistics. I'm going to skip over that too. That's all pretty self-explanatory. Page 3 has the top performing posts. I'm not sure if you were aware, but we put a time-lapse camera up at Highland to really follow that progress. And so Cammie and I last week worked on a video where we encapsulated just about a minute of that, even though we've been capturing this all day, every day, every 10 minutes or so, we've been capturing footage. But we wanted to put that just so you could see that really the gym go up just in that time-lapse format. And so we released that on October 8th, and that is our top performing post over the last 30 days. It's something that the community really responded to, so we will continue to do that over the lifespan of that project. I think it's a really great way to keep the community coming along with us throughout this entire project. So hopefully if you didn't get a chance to watch it, I've included the link for you here. The second top performing post was something of a friend of ours sent in. Our No School Day for Parent-Teacher Conferences happened to coincide with the release of a very popular album, and so I thought it was a really fun way, and so we shared that as a no school reminder. And sometimes we wonder if we can be a little bit, fun and a little bit tongue-in-cheek, and I'm always on the conservative side of that, but this just showed me that maybe sometimes we can have a little bit of sense of humor. So thanks to that parent who sent that in to us. It was offered a little bit of just levity. On page 4, I wanted to share with you our You Belong Here District T-shirt wear day. We had schools, we had our first wear day on Friday, September 19th, and we will be doing that every second Monday from here on out. And so I've included those dates for you here, but just wanted to show you a sampling of the schools that sent in pictures. 1,700 staff members wearing this throughout the district on those wear days is really quite impressive. And so we want to be able to provide the exposure for our T-shirt sponsors who help support that project, but also just, to remind the community that we're here and how strong we are in the community. So that will be every second Monday, and then the first one will be November 10th. So mark your calendars. I provided those dates for you there. On page 5, I've included the Everyday Matters messaging for October. We have all of that messaging ready to roll out, and our schools are including this messaging, continuing this campaign from last year in their school newsletters. Most of them are doing weekly newsletters now. So there is that. And this month's theme, they're all themed, so it's just still fall into routines that stick. So giving those families actionable tips and tricks to make sure that they're sending their kids to school every day. On page number 6, this idea came from Hawthorne. They wanted to do a fine arts competition. And when we talked about America's 250 and leading up to that milestone event, there's all these other milestones that we have the opportunity where schools are already talking about patriotic events or milestones within their schools. And so really trying to provide an additional opportunity for them to weave this into what they're doing. When I visited with the secondary principals and Sue Pettit about this idea, they all loved it. And so they were like, well, let's just not let Hawthorne do this with middle schools. Let's open this up for the entire district community. So we're going to be hosting a fine arts competition. It's still in the works. This will go out to principals and so that they can send it out to their teachers, but it will be anything from written format, from storytelling, poems, essays, to art, drawing, sculpture, pottery, all of that. And we are hoping to be able to display the student work at a May 1st, First Friday Art Walk in historic downtown Pocatello. So I'm working right now to try to get a venue for that. And so just details will be announced, but this will get us going with getting our teachers invested in this competition, and hopefully it's weaves a little bit of the "You Belong Here" message into there, but it's really about the belief everyone has a place, a voice, and a story that matters, and then encouraging any learners in grades K through 12 to create a piece of art, poem, photo, story, piece of pottery, other creative endeavor to represent what America means to you. So hopefully this will help satisfy that board goal that you have all set for this year. And then finally, we have our wellness quest. We do these wellness challenges periodically throughout the year, usually 2 to 3 times a year. So we are going to do a Power Up Your Wellness Journey. We usually do a calendar. We wanted to change it up a little bit. We usually have great participation for these wellness challenges. And so we did a game board this time. And on the back side, you will see some prompts. There's about 28 things for people to choose from that they can do. And every time they complete one of these prompts or challenges on their quest for wellness, they can initial 2 squares, and then they can earn up to $20 for turning it in by November 12th. So join us if you would like to and power up your own wellness quest.
Yeah,
Not-
I just love this. This is great. This is fantastic. And I love the art competition too. Wonderful.
We're doing wonderful things, and as the student representatives shared with you, we added 4 academic state champions to our roster of an already impressive roster of academic state champions. So lots of really great things continuing to happen across the district. Thank you.
Thanks. Next is our financial audit report and certification.
We're excited to share with you our financial audit, some highlights. But first, I'd like to introduce Mr. Doran Lamson. He's a certified public accountant and partner with Deaton and Company, and his firm has conducted the audit of the 24-25 school year. And so I'd like to turn it to him. He's going to be reviewing in your addendum, the audit reporting letter from Deaton Company, and anything else you'd like to share.
Well, I'd like to add to that great introduction. Thanks to my resume. I went to school at Green Acres, and then I went to Alameda Junior High, and then Highland High School, and then ISU. And so it is a pleasure to be here. And I'll have to say, seeing the learners and employees receiving those awards was a highlight. That's pretty fun to see some positive in the world today. So thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. I do want to go right into our opinion on the audited financial statements of the school district 25 for the year ended June 30th of 2025. And that is that our opinion is that the financial statements are presented fairly in all material respects. The respective financial position of the government activities, the business type activities, each major fund and the aggregate remaining fund information, as well as the statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in general capital projects, debt services, and professional technical education funds, balance and budget and actual of the district. That's our general audit opinion. As the audit is subject to government auditing standards, I'm also required to disclose a report regarding internal controls and compliance for the school district. That report issues that our consideration of internal controls was for a limited purpose and was not designed to identify all deficiencies in internal controls that might be material weakness or significant deficiency. Given these limitations, during our audit, we did not identify any deficiencies in internal control that we consider to be a material weakness. However, material weakness may exist that has not been identified. And as far as report on compliance and other matters, the results of our test disclose no instances of non-compliance or other matters that are required to be reported under government auditing standards. Unfortunately, we do not opine, but we do report as we perform our audit procedures. We're required to perform our audit in accordance with government auditing standards. And in doing so, we're required to evaluate the internal controls, but not opine on the internal controls of the school district. In doing that, we also, it assists us in our audit procedures and evaluating risks. We perform this audit using a risk assessment, analytical procedures, and testing and verifying of information. In addition to the report of internal controls and compliance, because the school district spent over $750,000 in federal expenditures, where the school district's also subject to the Single Audit Act, and we're required to report on the federal awards under the uniform guidance. In doing so, our opinion is that the Pocatello Chubbuck School District number 25 complied in all material respects with the type of compliance required that could have a direct and material effect on each of its major federal programs for the year ended September 30th of 2025. In addition to information provided already, I'm also required to let you know of any significant estimates that are reported in the ACFR or in the financial statements, and that is management does they do estimate the life expectancy of assets that are disclosed on the financial statements. We evaluate those estimates, and it is the assumptions that are used in determining the reasonableness of that, and that goes into our consideration of the opinion that we've issued. Also, significant disclosures of the financial statements include the disclosures of the pension plan to the financial statements, and these are provided through PERSI, and who use actuaries and other auditors to provide that information. We're to report any disagreements with management. We're grateful to disclose there was no disagreements that arose during the course of our audit. And of course, the disagreement has to do with management as a financial, accounting, reporting, or auditing matter, whether or not resolved to our satisfaction. And we had none of that. Of course, if there is ever a disagreement, management has the right to consult with another independent accounting firm if they desire. That's the end of our report, but I do want to give thanks to everybody who participated. We're thankful for, I appreciated Heather Clark's time that she took to interview with us, and Dr. Howell and her part, and the rest of those who participated in the audit, and Jonathan or Mr. Balls and his staff for their hard work. I was once told that the auditors are like those that come in and bayonet the wounded. You know, after the battle of putting together all the financial statements, we come in and critique it after they're all worn out, and we appreciate their hard work to make this happen.
Okay, just Appreciate that. And again, if there's any questions, you can ask Mr. Lamson. I wanted to kind of review some highlights to the financial audit. Again, this is being bound currently, and it will be posted to our website by the end of the month, by the end of next week, submitted to the state within that 90 days. Actually 120 days requirement there. So again, the second page is just, again, some different, the annual financial reports, some different sections in there. Really, I wanted, again, to give some highlights of our general fund being the largest fund. Again, I wanted to take a little snippet of our revenues. As you can see there, that a lot of these sections have the budget amount, the original budget amounts, the final budget amounts, and then the actual, and then you can kind of see the variance there. And so you can kind of see some different things. You see, I will highlight maybe some of this earning up from investments. You'll notice that some of that, the earnings and investment was recognized inside of our capital improvement plan is where we thought we could use a good portion of that. And so rather than using the 100 fund, we put that in the capital improvement or SIP or 420 fund. And so wanted to kind of highlight that section. And then the next page is the expenditures, and it's the very bottom. Obviously, there's a full section up above that you can look at a little later there. Again, same columns, the budget, original, final, and actual. Wanted to draw your attention to the very bottom, the fund balance and the ending balance. You can see the amount that we have there. A little about 16.7 million of ending in our general fund. Two numbers above that, you'll see that we did use some of this, the one-time money, and we had previously talked about that to cover some of the salaries and so forth, and so that's where we ended with that
Excuse me, is that the transfers out?
No, that's the net change, is where I was going, is the net change in fund balances. So again, so that means that we use some of our savings or carry forward amount, that $1.2 million that we had, last year was, we had about 17.9 million, and this year we have the 16.7. So that 1.2 million is what we spent above what we received in as revenue. Okay. But if you turn to the next page, again, that's still within the guidelines. Again, we try to keep 2 months of operating revenues, and that 16.7 million is about 63 days of operational dollars. And so we're well within that. We're still comfortable. And that's really the purpose of our fund balances, is that we can withstand some of these outside influences, if you will, not influences, the variety of things that happen at the state level and the national level, so that we can kind of weather through that, and so the least amount of impact on our learners and our staff. I wanted to highlight our capital projects fund. This is Fund 420. There's now 3 separate categories inside of that capital projects fund. So there's some reports that combine this all together, and you might see, wow, these are some big numbers. But there are really 3. That first one is the one that has always been there. That capital project fund is the SIP. This is our taxpayer dollars. And you can see kind of the revenues and the expenditures in summary there. And you can see the ending balances there, about 10.7 million in that fund. The next one is in insurance adjustment fund. This is the Highland Fire. And so you can see, again, what we've taken in there. Again, this is only for the 24-25 school year. And then you can see at the bottom what we had there, what the beginning balance was, and the ending balance. We have a little over $15 million there in the insurance adjustment fund. The next one is the newer one, the school modernization fund. This is from the money from the state. And you can see up above there, there's a lot of zeros. We have not spent any of that money. We made kind of a decision that we would, with the Rebuilding Highland, that we would spend the insurance money down first, and then use the school modernization. Up above, you can see in the revenues, you can see what the money that we're earning in investments. Obviously, it's just interest from the state pool that we earned in these three funds. But wanted to draw your attention to that far right-hand corner at the bottom, 74.8 million. So that seems like a large number, but that's basically all that we have for our capital project fund, which and rebuilding Highland and some of our other elementary schools and secondary schools, this is the money that we'll use. And again, more of this fund balance, because I think I wanted to highlight this. It's going to come up in the legislation. We've heard that. It's going to come up. And so I wanted to kind of mention that to you. So again, this is our fund balance for the last 5 years. And you can see at the very bottom, all government funds, how that's grown. But again, insurance and school modernization fund has helped that quite a bit there. And so you can see the general fund and then all other funds there. And the majority of that is the capital improvements fund, but also there's a little over $1 million in food service and CTE and the VIBA fund as well.
So when you make that comment about it's because the rumor is that they may claw back some of the district's reserves, is that what you're
That
hearing?
is the rumor, yes,
Yeah.
based on that. And obviously, we will fight against that because these are all, again, restricted, they're assigned. Please don't
And that's
do
from the
that.
state.
Yeah.
That's
The
yes, that's the rumor that we've heard. But again, that's why we have fund balances that will be able to weather these things. So we'll see what happens there.
Can you, and maybe you're,
Please.
the only question I've had is about this transfers in and out. What, can you explain what that is? Because I see on that, the next, maybe I'm jumping the gun.
No,
but,
go ahead.
On your summary statement, we budgeted 61 million,
Okay. Yes.
only 3.
And
What does that represent?
Okay, that represents, that was the insurance, that was Highland. So it was, if you remember a chart, and we've actually made a slight change, and so I was gonna explain that more in February there. We had.
The gun.
No, that's great, because I appreciate it, because it takes a while to, that way if you have any questions, we can talk about that. If you remember a chart from the budget hearing, is that we were going to put all of the expenditures in one fund, but then have several revenue accounts that help fund the construction up at Highland. We're gonna have the insurance, and we were gonna have the modernization fund, and then we were going to have a little bit of the SIP fund, help pay for that. But then as we got more into that, learned more about the modernization fund, we needed to keep those expenditures closer to the revenue side of things. And so the transfers that you saw, we were transferring to cover those expenditures. But now we're gonna put the expenditures directly into the insurance fund and directly into the modernization fund, because that's the way that they, even though initially they said this was a good plan, but now they've kind of changed a little bit. So what that means is it just the budgeting that we thought we were going to have to make these transfers, we're not going to have to make those transfers.
I see.
And so that will, in February, you will see, again, those changes. Because again, we started this way that we thought we were going to make these transfers. And again, I can help explain it again if that happens there. So on the statement of loss, the actual transfers, there's two really that we have to make. We can't pay Social Security tax out of food service. That's some Idaho law that was established a long time ago, that we can't pay for our portion of food service employees' Social Security tax from food service. So it has to come from the general fund. So we have to transfer that. And as well as in Medicaid, if you remember, we received a little over $6 million in Medicaid. We have to match that from the general fund, 30%, roughly 30%. And so those are some of the transfers that you do see that actually there. Yeah. The last one, again, this slide, I wanted a little summary there of the 30-plus funds in the audit report. There's a sheet for each one of them that actually will show the revenue expenditures from the budget, original, the final, and the actual amounts. I just chose the The state still calls it the State Tobacco Tax Fund, but it's really, what we call it now is our Safe and Drug Free Schools Fund. And so I don't know why they haven't changed that, but we have to use their language. So that was just an example. Again, there's 30 pages. The audit is over 100 pages there with all of the different funds. Okay. So again, just some little highlights. Then the last one, as Ms. Clark had mentioned, this is our summary statement. It's the condition, the financial condition that will appear if you approve it. This is for action for you to approve this. These are the numbers that Deaton and Company and Mr. Lamson and his team reviewed, and that this would appear in the Idaho State Journal as the annual statement of financial condition within our 120 days. And so that is what's up for action for you.
Okay. Is there a motion to accept the annual financial audit report for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025, and certify the annual financial condition statement as presented?
I hereby move that the board, accept the annual financial audit report for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025, and certify the annual financial condition statement as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is our public or written comment. We have one person, Sandra Kenny, that has signed up for public comment.
Madam Chair, trustees, Dr. Howell and Ms. Johnson, this evening, thank you for the opportunity of addressing you this evening. My name is Sandra Kenny, and I'm here representing the Wyeth chapter, our local chapter of Daughters of the American Revolution. This past May, the Idaho State Society Daughters of the American Revolution recognized Randy Lehidao Teton with the DAR Outstanding Women in History Award in recognition of her authorship of the graphic novel of Sacagawea. Randy was the model for the Sacagawea coin. As the librarian for Wyeth, I'd like to present to the Pocatello-Chubbuck School District 13 copies of her book, Sacagawea, It's Her Story, for each of our elementary school libraries.
Oh, that's
thank you.
so great. Thank you.
Look at one first. Sandy, can we look at one first? I guess not. I just wanted to look at one before you give them away.
Question?
I just wanted to be able to look at one before we,
Oh, you can have, they're brilliant.
Yeah.
I'll look at it and give it so you can take it to the library. That's very nice.
Thank you.
And you know,
My
the kids
goodness.
just love graphic novels. That's
Oh,
where they.
this is
they just buy into
beautiful.
that so much.
This is so awesome. Oh, my word. Okay. Next is the approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the September minutes as presented?
I hereby move that the board approve the September minutes as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, and I too. Any opposed? No. Next is the consent agenda, and let's see. So to approve and/or amend the consent agenda is our motion.
I hereby move that the board approve the consent agenda as presented.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
That motion is passed. The next is the self-explanatory reports, and then curriculum, instruction, technology, school safety, and athletics. And that will be presented by the management letter, I guess, presented by AJ. Contact person.
Good evening, trustees. In your board packet is the annual management letter to the Pocatello Community Charter School. At last week's board session, Michael Mendive and Ali Flores presented the annual report for PCCS and the financial audit. So before you tonight, the board is asked to approve the submission letter stating that PCCS is in good standing with the LEA, and we will submit that to them upon your approval.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the submission of the management letter to PCCS as presented?
I hereby move that the board approve the submission of the management letter by PCCS.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And any opposed? Just to clarify, we had it in detail presented to us at our work session, just so, in case anyone was wondering.
Yes.
That we approve it so quickly. Okay, thank you. And
Thank
then
you.
the next one is the out-of-state activities involving overnight travel, and it's the first reading of this policy.
Yep.
Presented by.
So again, we discussed this at the work session about if a group wanted an exception to our policy, how could we do that? And you had made some suggestions about changing our policy. And Renee, God bless you, put it together in short format and added a few sentences, clarified a few things, that one was out-of-state travel, not requiring more than 1 day or remaining overnight will require the approval of the superintendent or the designee. Changed a couple of words and then added this sentence. Any exception to the above criteria must come before the board for approval and shall be limited to once every 3 years per organization or group. Travel exceptions requests must have a completed out-of-state overnight travel form signed by the building principal, the director of secondary education, a complete itinerary, a per student cost estimate prior to being presented to the board. And so those are the two things that we added to this policy.
Is there any, does anybody want to discuss this?
Comments on the language?
I'm still hung up on the 3-year thing.
Okay.
Only because, and I see we have a choir teacher here, and I had intended and I wanted to ask a few of our non-sport activities to see if this would be beneficial to do it. Is 3 years too long? Is it every other year? Is it possible for me to ask that question of our choir? Can I mean, I would like, since you're here.
If it's okay.
Madam Chair, is that something I
can
can
I-
ask? It's on the agenda.
Yes, you
It
can.
saves me a little time having to do
Nobody
it.
really knows this rule, but
Come on up.
I mean, literally, I'm just asking is if you were limited to every 3 years versus, and this isn't local travel or.
well,
Yes,
1,500.
Right, so this would be like the
1,500.
Carnegie Hall thing. Did you
Absolutely.
participate in that one?
Yes, yeah, we got to take the Century Singers over to Carnegie Hall 2 years ago.
So if you were told you could only do that every 3 years,
Just 3 years ago.
do you think that, and I don't envision this would happen I mean, I don't know. 3 years, it seems like you're missing a group of kids if you do it 3 years.
I suppose it depends on the perspective. I had a really insightful conversation with my principal a couple of days ago where Cheryl Brockett sort of proposed this this idea that we want to, obviously we want to be conscientious of the students and the amount of sort of effort that they have to put in. A lot of fundraising goes into but also being conscientious of the community and community-like understanding, and we run so many events through the district, and the idea that we should be aware of how those events are affecting, especially financially, the community as a whole, I think is something that she brought up. I don't know that 3 years feels like too much necessarily. Her proposal was once every 4 years, so we're catching students. But I do know that there are, to your point, that there are some students who would not have been able to participate at all because they joined choir late or are just have to switch to online for outside reasons, things like that. So it's something to keep in mind, but also traveling that far is, I think it's an acceptable concept that it be the type of thing that you only do once in your high school experience. I think that is perfectly reasonable. Yeah.
That sounds great.
Okay.
Now, can we classify this as a public comment? so we won't discuss. Like, I don't know how to do this.
Sorry, I mean,
So,
I had
thank you.
intended
I
to-
It's
appreciate
a little
that.
outside the
Thank you.
norms, but it is relevant to your discussion.
Okay, so, Sue, I was just wondering, well, and Heather, wondering, like, I just had the thought when we were reading through it, it says overnight, it shall not, you know, it says, any exception to the above criteria must come before the board for approval and shall be limited to once every 3 years per organization or group. If you feel more comfortable, we could say may, or it can just say unless it is a special exception. I don't know.
Because isn't there something where something can be deemed extraordinary?
It's
Isn't that
for,
interesting?
that's
Those are
for,
just
that's for
for
missing the amount of days in
Right.
school.
Oh.
That's just, and so that they're not considered absent.
Like I said, I just wanted to hear, to say, if you were told you could only go to Carnegie Hall once every 3 years, and wonderful, you could go, but is that limiting the kids who, and if you're comfortable with it, and I know you're not the only deciding, but
Yeah,
that just
I'm
helps me
not the only
hear
conversation,
that
but-
you're not feeling like that's gonna stifle.
No.
So that's all I needed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I feel comfortable about saying, adding to per organization or group unless a special exception. But I guess any board
I
can
think all
allow.
of these were kind of special exceptions, and then this is
Right.
just some criteria.
So,
But if you
what do
do
you
want to change it to they will be limited or may be limited.
How does that
That's-
change it? That they can give
Because
an
shall is
exception?
an absolutely not. There
Okay,
is no
maybe to
exception
may.
3
To
Do
May.
you want to do May?
Let's do May.
Okay, because I do want this to be a pretty solid guideline. I mean, I want it to
Right.
be, because that's really hard.
Right.
It's really hard for the kids.
Yeah, the shall doesn't leave any room for flexibility.
Okay. I'm comfortable with that. If,
Is there anyone else? I'm comfortable with that.
when we do our motion, then, and then when we discuss, I guess we'll know if
You can
everyone's
just,
okay with.
you can do the same motion that you were going to do, and we can make that change for second reading.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we'll do that. Okay, is there a motion to hear policy 8706, out-of-state activities involving overnight travel on first reading as presented?
I hereby move that the board hear policy 8706, out-of-state activities involving overnight travel on first reading as presented.
Is there a second? Any discussion?
Did
I
we get a
guess
second?
The discussion, oh, I'm sorry, I just blazed right past that.
I'll second.
Second, Jim. And so on the discussion, can we change the may to shall?
I got it already.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Oh, well, that's for second reading anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So on that, the may to shall, is it gonna give Ms. Pettit more work? Like, do you feel like
It's
that's
not me, it's gonna come to
Gonna
you.
come to us.
These exceptions will come to you.
and not through her, but just straight to us?
It comes to me
Okay.
first.
So
So if
it-
it's an exception,
I
it's
mean, it is
gonna
more
come to you guys.
Right.
So you'll probably be able to.
I just
vet
don't
it.
want it to be like every year, they're like, please give us another exception and another exception.
That's why, I think that's why this is important, that we put, that you can't ask for it in every 3 years. And it,
But doesn't
I
the
guess
May
that's-
allow for that?
That's
It
my
does.
concern
Yeah,
with
it
the
may allows
may,
that.
is that like, well, you
And that's
said
going to
we
be
could.
completely up to you guys. If you decide that, you know what, they're asking every year now, then maybe change it back. I don't know, but,
What
or
is
you
the
just go back to shall.
typical- I mean,
I'm
how
fine
many
with it
requests are
saying
you
shall.
getting
I
that we
get,
don't hear about?
we get one from each choir, so Pokey, I have one from Pokey, you'll have it, it's in your overnight one already. Generally, at least one of the bands, if not both bands, go on tour.
But
we're-
are these the exception ones? Sorry.
The exception ones,
Yeah.
this is the second one we've had in 3 years.
Okay.
and probably because they know the rule. Okay, and I'm actually fine with leaving it with shall too, but
So the rule right now is shall.
The rule right now doesn't
There is no
allow for
criteria.
exceptions.
Are in
Oh,
the-
they've been
in
made.
the green
Okay.
is.
And so the discussion was, do we change our policy to allow for exceptions, or do we stay with the policy as written, or do we change the policy to extend the mileage so we don't need exceptions?
Okay.
Yeah, and I thought it was important that we do a policy discussion because this is the second time that Century's asked for an exception. And then it becomes not very fair if everyone else isn't given the opportunity to every 3 years have an exception as well. But then,
Well, and if you have so many exceptions,
then change your policy.
Then it's kind
Yeah.
of the rule,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's fine to leave it as shall, and just to make sure that we have it tight, and then,
I would be more comfortable with the shall. I worry that then we'll get it every year. And
it's just so much
I
money.
also would be happy with every 4 years, because then you get one chance. But I do think that maybe the freshmen would get left out of that because, and so the
Somebody that
3 years
moves
catches
into
the
the
freshmen.
district.
Some of the
out of
choirs don't
district.
allow
Yeah.
freshmen.
Yeah.
They
so-
aren't even allowed in that choir, so.
Yeah, so I think it does help catch those other ones.
Okay, leave it as shall.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a
just change it
second.
again.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second, so all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion passed, so that is approved on first reading. The next is the winter and athletics.
Nope, we have one more on us.
No?
So we actually have an out-of-state overnight travel exception request, and that would be for Century Choir to go to the Texas International Choral Festival. It is beyond our mileage in our policy right now, which is why we're bringing it to as an exception. They did a trip 3 springs ago, so this was 3 years ago, and so this would be their one every 3 years. And they're asking the board, they have completed the entire form. They've given me an extensive itinerary and a cost estimate for the kids. And they are prepared to go, but they need it approved by you to start doing some fundraising. And so they are asking for an exception.
And they
to
have,
this
and you
policy.
feel comfortable with the amount of fundraising that they're going to do and their whole plan?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so is there a motion to
Oh,
approve?
can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Oh, sorry.
On those dates,
Mhm.
how does that sit with our state testing? How, with those kids?
They'll work around it.
Okay.
So, and does anybody else want to ask any questions? So is there a motion to approve, let me see where it is again, the out-of-state overnight travel exception for Century High Choir as presented?
I hereby move that the board grant an out-of-state overnight travel exception for the Century High School Choir as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
Well, yay. That sounds really exciting.
I'm really stoked about it.
Now go raise money.
Next is the winter athletic schedules and travel.
So in front of you, you'll have the Century, Pokey, and Highland basketball, girls, boys, and wrestling, girls and boys, schedules in front of you, and we just need approval for those schedules.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the athletics, the winter athletic schedules and travel?
I hereby move that the board approve the winter athletic schedules inclusive of travel as presented.
Is there a second? Any
I'll
discussion?
second.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in such a hurry. I don't know why.
She's on the
Any
gun tonight.
discussion?
No, I just think that was an extensive amount of work, and so I really appreciate all that work. That's 63 pages of scheduling, so.
Yes,
Way to
our
go.
athletic directors work overtime, and they have to monitor all those
Yeah.
events as well.
Yes,
Well, then.
and thank you to them.
Yeah, they're at 'em. Oh. Okay, so that's our discussion. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. We just needed to excuse Jim. Thank you, Jim. Next on the agenda is Human Resources with Brenda Minor. We're discussing Policy 7702 and Policy 7318.
Good evening, trustees. The first policy is 7202, the teacher supervision and evaluation of certificated and professional staff, and this is the second reading. And if you remember, this reading is just the difference from changing that summative evaluation from May 15th to May 30th, so that it gives administrators a longer opportunity to be able to get that completed.
Okay, we will go ahead and, is there a motion to hear on second reading? Policy 72, for adoption, 7202, teacher supervision and evaluation of certified and professional staff as presented.
I hereby move that the board hear on second reading for adoption policy 7202, teacher supervision and evaluation of certificated and professional staff as presented.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And so the next one is 7318.
So policy 7318 is the use of social media, and this is for first reading. And if you remember, we discussed a little bit about this last time, and you had the opportunity to look at this policy. And I would say that the biggest piece of this is just to this policy adds some clarity to what types of behavior can be online behavior and what the disciplinary actions can be.
Okay. So it's pretty detailed. You know, liking stuff is not allowed, that's not okay, and so it's pretty detailed. Is there a motion to approve the policy, to hear on first reading, policy 7318, use of social media on first, as presented?
I hereby move that the board hear policy 7318, use of social media on first reading as presented.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion?
I just have a question, is how are you going to monitor this? I mean, is it just based on someone reporting it, or?
That's how we've done it in the policy in the past of 7318, yeah.
Okay.
Is there, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion passed. And then, thank you, Brenda. Then next is, oh my gosh, my computer's acting really weird, is business operations, presented by Jonathan Bowles again.
Okay, first I wanted to give a brief update on our Highland rebuild. Again, we're currently on schedule and within budget is the main overarching theme here. We are watching the rain and the cold. We know things will slow down just a little bit, but that is already built into the schedule. And so they're doing as much as they can on our good warm, our at least somewhat warm days. And so we're anxious to kind of keep that going. I want to report that, again, several of our concrete slabs have been poured in the drama area, the band area, the orchestra, as well as the stage. That's kind of cool to see the stage poured. And then in that auditorium area, it's been graded for the seats. So it's kind of cool to see dirt sloping down to a cement floor. You can kind of see that auditorium taking shape there. So also the kitchen slabs have been poured as well. Inside of the gymnasium, there's a small crane that's been setting the steel trusses over the locker room. Again, as you know, these are very beefy trusses because that's the support system for the second floor. That'll be the bleachers. That'll be the auxiliary gym. If you up on top of that locker and bathrooms, that side of there. So we're setting those trusses. We anticipate that the big crane should be coming in the next week or two and start lifting. That'll be outside of the gymnasium. Lift those huge trusses over the top of the main gym, spanning that entire gym. We're anxious to watch that because that'll be pretty cool. And also want to report that the CMU, the block for the classroom walls are coming up very nicely there.
And do we have, I know we talked a little bit about the next Highland Rebuild Committee meeting. Did we decide on a date?
We did not yet,
Okay.
and so, but that's right, exactly where I was headed.
Oh.
No, that it'll probably, we want to show the board, what Design West has come up with. It is being priced right now with Bateman Hall, but we anticipate in the next week or two, Dr. Howell and I, we were kind of discussing that and looking at your schedules. We'll probably have a special meeting for that with the board, try to piggyback on some meetings so we're sensitive to your time. But want to kind of show you those options because we did talk about that.
So we'll
in
have
our-
more than one option? They have several?
Correct. There are a couple options.
Good.
Some of it will be price-based, but I think we'll be able to do many of the main things that we wanted to accomplish there. And so yeah, that was an update on kind of we're calling it the phase 3. Phase 1 was demo, phase 2 is the reconstruction, phase 3 is, and it will have everything from the property from tennis courts to the parking lots to a drop-off, as well as the exterior. They've had some very creative ideas on kind of how to tie in the older building, let's say, the original building, and the new building with some colors and so forth. And so I think I'm kind of excited about that next phase. So we'll look to get that scheduled here shortly. The next item, I believe, is our SIP committee. We met on Thursday. Again, appreciate Madam Chair and Trustee Knopf for their time there. Again, I put in those same documents that we reviewed, kind of the introduction to the capital improvement plan, the SIP plan, the policies and philosophies of that. We reviewed all of our facilities, and I inserted an age as of 2025, just a simple Excel calculation there to kind of show that this will be enhanced because we have had some upgrades, and this does not count some of the upgrades, some of the newer portions of the building. For example, Highland will have a different section there. And so we'll enhance this and kind of keep that up to date. We also included some draft of some possible projects. We spent the majority of the time on this, kind of saying, okay, what's the kind of the priority? And again, as I mentioned to the committee, those budget costs are really budget, and even there's some that are even adjusted. I didn't adjust them in this document, but will before the next meeting to kind of look at that. As the other document that just we finished up, again, these are draft minutes. I want to clarify that, draft minutes. I'm the only one that has reviewed those. So obviously any changes that the committee will want, we'll kind of look through there. They're very detailed minutes there of kind of what we talked about. But want to kind of highlight and get the board's, if there's any possible discussion that you might want to take, but we had talked a lot about the Century roof, that our 20-year roof is now 26 years old and is needed to be replaced. As well as, of course, this phase 3 at Highland we talked about, and then we also talked about the fire system at Pocatello. That's portions of that, other than our new section, Unit 4, are very old and we can't get parts and so forth. And so, so we talked about those as kind of some priorities. We did spend a good deal of time about our the bathrooms. And we kind of talked about just of different styles. Obviously, the major theme, as all projects are, that we want it for the best price and the highest quality that we can get there. And we all were in agreement that we should do that. We talked about whether we finish doing the third floor of Hawthorne or doing another school. Irving would be one that we could do that is used by the public, through Parks and Rec, quite a bit. And through a good discussion, we determined that our recommendation to the board that we do one of these bathrooms per school, so that there is these type of restrooms in all of or the schools as we are going forward. But it does come with a big cost, and we're looking to see if we can still maintain the goals of these restrooms of privacy and security, but also to reduce vandalism and that we can be able to monitor these bathrooms a little bit better as well, make sure we can accomplish all of that.
And with that discussion, we talked about different materials because it was.
We did.
We just talked about how that was really so expensive that it would price us out of being able to do all the bathrooms.
Correct.
And then also Highlands, the staff bathroom, was that part of it too?
That is correct. We did talk about
Irving and the Irving and the Highland, and was there a third?
No, those were just the two. Again,
That we
for
talked
the
about
board,
for
we're diving into the weeds, but just to clarify what we were talking about, again, cast iron pipes have become our nuisance, our vein. We're having some issues. We've had issues over the last several years. Wilcox has had several issues. Anyway, it's happened at Highland where staff bathrooms are unable to be used because of this. And so they're closed, and then this goes into the C wing, the learner or the student bathrooms. So the thought was, okay, if we have to tear up the sewer line there, do we just go ahead and do something with the bathrooms? But again, we'll get prices, for those. And as Madam Chair mentioned, we are looking at some other material. It needs to be sturdy enough that will withstand some abuse or vandalism that might be attempted there. And so we'll just look at the costs, and again, that will come to the board at several levels. We're at the very beginning stages right now. And so, but we'll bring the board along in some of those decisions, and ultimately whether you approve the bid or not.
What is this? The neighboring church has asked if we could assume more of the day. What does that comment mean?
Okay. So I've had 2 conversations over the last 4 years from the LDS Church that we, in Gate City, Lincoln, and Tendoy, we don't have enough parking. They were built with the understanding and agreements in place with the LDS Church that we would use their parking lot. Again, that was over 40 plus years ago, and things maybe have changed a little bit. So they just asked, they had the question of, okay, do you think you'd ever be able to have your own parking? You could use our parking lot on rare occasions. But
They're
again,
not asking for financial help us take care of the parking lot. They're asking us to move.
yes, very nicely, very nicely.
Very nice, but
It's
I don't blame them.
and it has been a year or 2.
Yeah.
But I felt we should at least put that, again, this is on a 10-year list there. But yeah, that's kind of what that meant. You'll see in the minutes that I think it's in the minutes that even though we do want to be good neighbors, but we have those agreements, and as long as our staff and our parents are good, and obviously.
Are they gentlemen's agreements, or are they actually?
No,
they're agreements.
They're actual
Oh, they
agreements.
are?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're in place.
So they are
So
in
we-
place.
We don't have to,
So that would be kind of my lower, a lower priority project, if you will. But if something were to come up,
well, yeah. when
then
we're
we
talking-
would evaluate it.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
so
we're
forth.
talking about roofs leaking and stuff.
Correct.
And like lots of,
But that's what that.
We know parking lots.
and no
but
parking lot.
No parking lots, correct.
Gosh.
So that's why I just wanted it on there again, as this is a multi-year document that we still have that in place. If there's an opportunity, we'll look at that.
So the elephant in the room was Washington. I mean, I see Ray's comment, but I'm
Sure.
curious.
So we did talk about Washington. Obviously, I put it up there a little bit. Again, we did discuss it a little bit, but then we tied it closely to enrollment. And it was kind
I
of.
guess I'm thinking more of, here is an asset of the district and it's sitting empty. I mean, are
Yeah.
there things, like Jerry Myers was suggesting, should or could be done to maintain the building, not necessarily a reopening? I don't know. I'm just curious if any of.
Sure. No, and that's definitely a valid point, and that's why we did, talk about that. It needs to be on the list there. I guess what I felt, and I think the committee sensed, was, we'll put, as we prioritize the dollars, we try to keep them as I've talked about before, try to keep them as close as we can to the kids, or the learners, the staff, and so that's why some of these are, these lifes, roofs. The Century roof has leaked quite a bit. The fire
But it wasn't
system.
removed from the list.
It was not removed, no. And I think and that's what we talked, and there were we had opinions all over the board there, but I think the committee kind of came back and said, yep, it needs to be on the list because it is an asset of the district. And if and when we're able to increase enrollment or use it in another fashion, that would require these structural upgrades, then we have that there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any comments, Madam Chair?
But no,
Trustee
and I
Knopf,
appreciate you bringing this to the board,
Yeah.
to discuss. It's nice so that everyone else can be in the loop with,
Absolutely.
ask questions and.
Absolutely. Our next committee meeting is November 6th, and so we'll review that the Tuesday after as well.
Oh, I was going to ask, I guess it's your next item. So
Yeah,
I'll just.
and so the next item is, again, not necessarily the cart before the horse, but through the meeting, it was, we didn't necessarily talk about it, but it was definitely inferred that we will need to go to bid on some of these projects. This is our blanket request for permission just to start the process. Again, as you know, you will get to see these bids itemized through the bidding process if it does get approved through the SIP committee and through the board in December. And so we just list out every and anything that we might want to go out to bid. And this is what we kind of talked about. This allows us to kind of start getting that architect, get some of the engineering done. And so this is before you as action to grant permission to possibly bid on some of these capital improvement projects for the 26-27 school year.
Okay. I do have a question about these permit, the request to bid.
Yeah.
Because painting, interior, exterior, all of those things kind of come from the maintenance funds, right?
Yes.
And so I was just wondering, when we were talking about the Highland Rebuild Committee meeting, talking about using some of the project funds for maintenance items.
Okay.
And I just wanted clarification on that. We would not take from project to do maintenance, would we?
No, we would not shorten, or we would not minimize, or we would not, what's a good word I'm looking for?
Cut corners?
Yeah, excellent. Yes, we would not cut corners of the project by taking money away for maintenance. If there is any available funds that could be used there, then yes, I would probably use that, but it would
Would probably transfer it, though, into the maintenance fund, because that wouldn't be really the.
Correct, and
correct amount
it's
of
all the
project.
same fund. I mean, it's just, there's, for example, Highland gets a new construction. That is the account code. New, because all abatement halls, all the architects going into new construction. Whereas the maintenance is the account, the same fund, but it's the account for remodeling or secondary improvements. And so it's the same fund, but different accounts there. But yes, we would kind of transfer that to make sure, and then of course show that, as the project. And we can, sometime in the future, we could review those Highland financials if you'd like on where they're at.
Yeah, I just,
Highland
that's.
financials, but the results of the project, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Thank you for the clarification. Because I'd point out, I just found out how much a brand new high school is costing in Utah.
Oh.
This is so much less.
Great.
And it is it's so much money, but it's so much less than
May I
that
ask which
project.
one?
I mean, it's not even a fourth.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And this is really the expensive part of the whole high school. The classroom.
Oh, it is, correct.
And to really have it not be even a fourth
Wow.
of what a new high school.
Yeah,
I mean,
after the
I think,
meeting,
you know,
I'd
just to
love
kinda-
to visit with you, because I
mean-
try to watch the construction in the area.
Yeah, I mean,
So.
it's just kind of as comparison.
You bet.
But
Well,
I
good, I'm
also,
glad.
but I didn't know if you'd be able to untangle the numbers and be able to show, like, the renovation of the science rooms, the maintenance, and those things were different than the new build. Because I think it's interesting to know, how much did that actual part that burned down cost to rebuild, aside from, the
Sure.
older part, I just think it's kind of a good number to
We
have.
would,
I don't
we
know
would
if
be
you'd
able to get to
have it.
round, close numbers there. We can,
Okay.
not to the penny there, because it's, the masons are doing all the original section that burned down, but then also the enhancements as well.
Yeah,
But we
even
could-
a rough estimate, I think would be really good, because then we could really know
Sure.
what we're talking about. Are we talking about maintenance and renovation, or are we talking about the new build that burned?
Sure,
So
okay.
I like that, thank you. Did you have something, Megan?
Not on that note, but I do have a question.
Okay.
We touched on this earlier today, so I just saw it on the list and thought I would ask you here
Okay.
too. On the lighting, because we did get pictures, was it last week or a month ago? I don't remember. It was last
Yeah,
week.
just last
Okay,
week.
last
Yep,
week.
it was.
On the upgraded lighting at the building. So
Yes.
I'm just wondering on the the schedule for the lighting, like what building would be next?
I knew you sure.
Do you want your orange book?
Yeah, I need my orange, but, well, no, yeah. Yeah, I'd have to look in the orange, yeah, as Deanna said, well, and it's okay, if it's okay, I'd rather not take time. She has the book, she borrowed it after a SIP committee. Correct. I do not know, I do not which,
Well, does it
it'll be,
again go by oldest, and you're just updating the oldest buildings next?
Or the loudest complaint?
yeah, it could be the biggest, it probably could be the
No,
oldest. It's what,
great.
the past several years, it's been elementary schools.
Okay.
And so, because those are ones that we could get done during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I assume it's another elementary school. I will mention, I signed the paperwork with Idaho Power. That is a $46,000 rebate that we're getting back from our last summer's total lighting, redo. So I'll get back with you. How about that? I'll get back
And
with you
I
on
do
that.
think my child's school is already done.
Yes,
I walk in and the lights turn on, so.
Yep, I'm pretty sure it's, he'll make sure it's LED.
So I just was curious what direction that one was heading.
Okay, I will get that for you.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you. So are you waiting for a motion now?
I'm ready for if
Okay.
you are.
So is there a motion to, well, we're not approving anything to do with the.
Nope, it's just the permission to,
Permission.
permission
Bids.
to bid, permission to bid some of these project or items.
I can do it.
Okay. Is there a motion to grant permission to bid the 2026-2027 SIP-related project as presented?
I hereby move that the board grant permission to bid the 2026-2027 SIP-related projects as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passed. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you.
That's like so much work that our maintenance does. So, okay, and now Superintendent Howell has the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So first up is the board calendar, and I will let you peruse that at your leisure, other than to note that tomorrow night we have, late tomorrow afternoon, a student hearing.
I have one update for you.
Okay.
On the calendar. I didn't
okay.
put it on there
Oh,
because I had presented 3 different dates to the legislators for our board work session with legislators. And then he came back and said the 1st or the 15th, and
Yeah.
now he came back and said the 15th works the best. So I
December.
wanted to make sure, December 15th is a Monday. I wanted to make sure that worked with a majority of the board before I go ahead and put that on the calendar.
Works today.
Okay, it works today.
And that was at what time?
4 or 4:30, so I guess depending on preference.
4 o'clock's fine.
4?
4:30 is better, maybe?
Ah.
That's okay. I mean, it's okay,
Okay.
That's tomorrow?
No,
no,
December
no.
15th.
Oh, I'm
No.
looking at Wednesday, October 22nd.
But you said tomorrow for discipline.
Oh,
Yes, tomorrow for discipline, 4 o'clock.
Doug was getting there with that, yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
one
we were
one
getting
hearing.
Yeah.
2 things.
Yes.
Right, okay.
All right.
Okay, so the meeting with the legislators is at 4:30 on December 15th.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, second item for you under B, I need to apologize. We have not completely drafted, I can't say finalized because it's a draft agenda. So I think we have 3 or 4 topics on there. Ms. Johnson and I will work to refine that, and then we will get that to you. Now we have a little bit of time because we have until the 15th to prepare that agenda.
So I guess we'll have a meeting before then.
And we will also have been to convention, and so there may be some other things that the board would like to add. So we will begin to put that together.
And truly, we have, in the past, taken those previous agendas, and they've been lining up pretty closely. And then I looked at the last one, I'm like, this is not going to work for this year. So it was like, we need a bigger discussion.
Yes, okay. We will.
For
our board work session with the legislators, the
topics.
topics need to be adjusted.
Okay, and we have got to talk about it, I guess, in our work session?
Exactly.
December work session?
Yeah.
Okay.
So item C for you tonight is the Board of Trustees Strategic Goals. And after a meeting with Ms. McGorry, we looked at this and found that our objectives under school climate and culture mentioned our staff, safety, well-being, and mental health, but we recognize too that in our key indicators, we did not touch on that. So we had a parent survey opportunity, we had various student engagement surveys, discipline reports, attendance, and so forth. So we are suggesting that the board amend that and add teacher surveys and feedback under that section of school climate and culture. And are we voting on that?
I did put
Yeah.
that for action.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had a question about that. On our homepage, I guess it's the board homepage that it takes us right to, the link? Or is that that's not the homepage of the district, right?
Just the boards, yeah,
That's
the
just
board page.
the board page,
Yeah.
okay, just to clarify. Where would our goals be? I just see the mission, vision, and beliefs. And so where would the board goals be? I couldn't find them last time, but it's a new program, so I just didn't know.
I think we did get Cami to post those out there, so,
We'll find
not yet.
where that is.
Okay.
Okay. It's not
Okay.
on, but we were talking about
We
it
will
tonight,
add
so I just thought I would ask, because since we were talking about it.
Yes.
Okay, so is there, I have to get back to my agenda. Oh, something happened. Okay. Is there a motion to approve the amended board strategic goals for 2025?
I hereby move that the board approve the amended board strategic goals as presented.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion passed.
Okay, final item is policy 3309, which is riot and/or civil commotion system. And we've talked about the out-of-date nature of this policy and how we do so many things differently under our safety plans. And so for tonight, final deletion on second reading.
Is there a motion to hear on second reading the deletion, policy 3309, riot and/or civil commotion systems as presented?
I hereby move that the board hear on second reading for deletion policy 3309, riot and/or civil commotion system as presented.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Now, is there any other business that we would like to discuss? Okay, if there's no other business we'd like to discuss, that concludes this meeting, and I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Is there a motion?
I hereby move that we adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
If there is no objection, I declare